Women are impacted by youth violence.
Guys tend to carry knives and weapons. You don't really hear about girls.
We forget that behind every violence there's a mother, there's a sister, there's a cousin, an aunt, a girlfriend.
As a mother, if you feel it, if it's anyone's child, you'll feel it yourself.
I have a son, so I know what it's like to go through somebody killing your child. My son was shot. Manchester was called Gunchester. The children that's dying, they're the ones that bring the pain to your heart, and it's the pain that you've never experienced before, and you know how you go forward.
Our programmes help people that have been affected by youth violence because it gives them a space that's just for them. Youth violence and knife crime is often associated very much with men and boys. Actually, there's a lot of trauma that comes from living within a community where that's an issue.
So earlier this year, I wrote an article for GQ magazine, which is where I have a column, about young women's perspectives about youth violence, having realised that there was basically a complete lack of representation for female perspectives in debates about youth violence.
One of my friends got into a fight with another group of boys. I called them, I said, "Where are you guys?" And he called me a couple minutes after because they weren't answering, and he told me that he got stabbed during the fight. I had a look at it and straight away I was like, "You need to go to hospital." It was bad. He was bleeding all down his leg. And that was like the first time I've been in a situation where I've seen it for myself. I wrapped it up for him, I cleaned it, I had to do it myself. There was blood all over me, but it was something I had to do. We took him straight to the hospital. And luckily I did, because we found out that it hit a certain part of his body, and if he didn't come sooner, it could have been worse.
Young women are involved in youth violence as well, sometimes because of the relationships they're in or because they are gang members themselves, but often they're not part of the conversation. One girl I work with has lost a friend last year, and that was incredibly hard for her. She was only 17, he was only 18.
A lot of girls that want to be involved with gangs, they hold knives for their boyfriends or for boys that they think like them. They also set boys up, telling a boy to come here so then someone else can kill him. You're seeing mothers cry on TV about their sons being killed, but there's nothing you can do because it's going to happen again, and this is going to happen again. I'm definitely scared.
Young women are drawn to their experiences in the past been support, and in particular I think emotional social support for men who aren't often brought up to be able to source that from their friends. 2 of the 3 people said that it was normal when they were growing up as young women to have their male friends call them and cry to them down the phone, and then would ask, like, can you leave the phone on so that I can fall asleep?
I've had a friend that was killed in 2017 by gang violence. He wasn't really involved in gangs, but because he knew people that were, he was a victim. I was in college, it was early morning. We already knew that he was stabbed, but he was in a coma. He was in critical condition. I was with my friends, and one of my other friends came up to me, and he said it, not knowing that I was sitting there. He said, "Did you hear that this person's died?" And I said, "What?" Straight away he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, he died this morning." He was intelligent, he had a lot to do in his life. He wanted to go places, so it was quite upsetting that he didn't get to live his life. There was no motive behind it. He was just killed.
If we as a society are serious about understanding and curing the epidemic of knife crime and violence, we ought to be trying to capture a much more diverse range of experiences and personal insights, especially if those experiences and insights are those of the girls and young women who have, for decades, had to pick up the pieces when a community experiences tragedy.
I think it's how we actually go about looking at these issues and writing about them, because I think people are going away with the wrong idea of knife crime. A knife doesn't get up and kill someone. It's not about knife crime, it's about young people killing each other. What do we do next?